Well, welcome back to another version of our podcast here, coming to you live from PRI in Indy. And I got a special guest here and a great friend, Willy Krupp. Willy, thanks for coming and spending some time with me. But you got something in your hand I want to talk about, but I also want to talk about your twin blade and everything that's sitting on this late model, because I had a lot of questions about that too. But the most latest and innovative thing you've got is right here in your hand to keep us safe.
That's right. What we've come up with, the element of concern in these late models, modifieds and such that have the belt-driven fuel pumps, we're returning so much fuel and air back to the fuel cells. The fuel would not stay inside these cells. It got over to the vent area, and the cell would always carry just a little bit of pressure left over, which would start leaking fuel all over the back of the car, all over the guy behind them. And the element of concern just become such a huge deal that nothing was getting done about it. So we put a little time and attention to this, and here's what we come up with is we went in here and relocated the whole vent area on the fuel cell. Rather than doing it through the plate system here, we're doing it above the liquid level line, and then we relocate the vent area, the atmospheric pressure over here, usually about 1.5 feet away from the cell.
That was going to be my question. I know this is a demo, but how much further it goes this way? 1.5 feet, 18 inches?
Yeah, it's going to come over here to the left side and then forward. So the two forms of G-force that the race car produces on its own on a circle track is your forward and lateral G-force. So anyway, any liquid that was ever to get in here, the G-force is going to physically pull it back into the cell. And so now we don't have any of the fuel spillage going on around the racetrack. And then it's got all kinds of safety protection built into it. The cage that we designed here, it has a rollover piston in it, and also the return line. We're dispersing the return over to the right front section of the fuel cell. And so all of our venting is over here on the left, way up above where all the liquid could ever even get to. So there's no way any liquid could come out of the vent anymore.
And just from my experience of watching on TV and stuff, watching these cars and in live, is these cars will be sitting there in a staging area getting ready to go, and they'll roll off, and there's a puddle of fuel.
That's right.
At first, I didn't realize what it was, but it's fuel that's been leaking out of that car, because they've got to fill them that full to make the races. To make the complete race is what they have to do.
That's correct. And also, some of the innovations that's going on in these race cars with the brake pad systems, the rear brakes, you notice there's a lot of sparking back here. So now here we've had this fuel expelling out of these cells, and it's just a disaster waiting to happen. So we put some effort into this deal, and I feel like it's a great fix. It only takes a few minutes to swap out this whole system on your race car. And we've got it all machined out here underneath the cap. So whenever you're filling your cell, it vents around the funnel to where you can get all the air purged out of it. So it'll be a quick fill.
Yeah, quick fill and everything else too. I think we've been lucky in the racing world not to have more fires than we have.
That's right.
I see the race cars, even there, for the first 3 or 4 laps, are running down the straightaways or whatever, and you can see the fuel spraying out of the back of the car. Mm-hmm. And how we don't have, with those brakes sparking and that, how we haven't had more fires, I don't know. But this is a great innovation, Willie. I'm glad you spent the time to keep us more safe. I hope that more sanction body stuff will go after and make this mandatory to keep us drivers safe. Even though it's going to cost a little bit of money, but I know our bodies and ourselves and our health is a lot better than spending a little bit of money than catching on fire. Nothing worse than catching on fire.
No, this is a great quality products here. It's all CNC built right there in our facility, and we've done some testing throughout this year, and absolutely zero fuel it spells out of the fuel cell.
So basically all you're doing is you're going to unbolt the top of your fuel tank, right?
Yep.
Get your other 18 inches of hose, and this gets bolted to the deck.
Yep, it all goes underneath the deck.
Yep.
And then you just hook up your return line. When you lift it up, you'll undo your suction line, replace and rehook it back up. It usually sets down over a stud system. Put it all back on. We've got plates available for all the fuel cells that's out in the market. It also has a provision here for your dipstick. It shouldn't take you 10, 15 minutes to swap this thing out.
Install it and keep yourself safe. We also here in the booth on our car, we have your Super Bowl twin blade. Mm-hmm. Got a lot of questions about that. I'd love you to give some people more information about that. I've talked to a lot of people about what I know about it, but I know you know more about it than I do. But this works hand in hand with the Super Bowl and the twin blade, correct?
Absolutely, yeah. Starting with the Super Bowl, that's back in 2013, we designed and patented a bowl system. It has no float, no needle and seat. It doesn't require a fuel pressure regulator. as all of us engine tuners and engine builders out there, the stuff that we used to cuss and adjust at the racetrack isn't even on the race car. So now we've made all the liquid that's in the bowls totally numb to G-force and fuel pressure. So super simple system way we draw the whole thing out. So, and you can put it on anybody's carburetor, 2-barrel, 4-barrel, any of our competitors, they can put this product on. And all of our competitors, we've turned them all into dealers because this product enhances their product to where now they can go out here and have a better product for their customers.
And I think I can't stress enough, Willie, too. We've come and saw you twice now, with one time with the modified and one time with the late model. And just to sit down with you on the dyno and watch how we start out and how the cylinders are so far apart, and then you tune on that thing. I don't know, I remember 3 or 4 pulls or whatever, and you've got all the cylinders so close together. It just makes more sense of how that engine is going to last longer, even power and everything.
Yeah, that's a whole other product. That's our equalizer carburetor that we patented after the Super Bowl assembly. And the whole purpose of this is so we can steer fuel to any cylinder individually. So now we can control the heat in every cylinder. And now we can get maximum torque, power, reliability out of the engine. And we never could do that before with a conventional down leg or annular booster. And it makes the motor run so much better, restart better. And now, there again, we do so many things that just try to keep racers racing, keep the motors together. The motors are the biggest expense we've got in this sport. And if we can make those things last, now all of a sudden we've saved the racers money and they can keep racing.
There you go. So another thing about our late model setting here, the motor, this car is all new except the motor. It's going to be, as soon as we get back to Wichita, it's going to come out. It's going to go back to Jack, and Jack's going to tear it apart. And it's got about 1,300 laps on it. And it's going to be interesting to see, because it's had the Super Bowl and the twin blade on it all year, same fuel all year long. And me and Nick have paid close attention with the humidity pressure out there and adjusted the needle. I mean the jets as we needed to. You gave us that great chart that shows us when the pressures are whatever and adjust that. And we've stayed on top of that real tight. So can't wait to see what that is. And Jack's even kind of interested to see how it looks inside that motor.
Yeah, whenever you come and dyno with us, we record the density altitude in the dyno room, and that becomes our dyno number for the day. Now, you take that number, and as you go race throughout the season, there's free apps out there on your phones, and you can, rather than buying all this high-dollar equipment, it's a real simple math deal. As you look at your density altitude, you know what your dyno number is. As it changes from 1,000 feet from your dyno number, that's one Holly jet number.
Yeah,
it's super simple system, and your motor will stay tuned up regardless if you're in California, Colorado, Florida. If it's 30 degrees out or if it's 98 degrees out, we keep your motor in the proper air fuel ratio no matter what the environment is.
The other testimonial I have to it, it's on our crate car that we had when we had our modified, Willie. We ran that the Super Bowl all 1 year. Mm-hmm. And we had another older motor that we'd ran for many, many years, and we went and dynoed those things. And that crate lost from the whole year from start to finish, only lost 3 horsepower.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just, to me, that's a testimony of showing that keeping the right mixture in that carburetor, all the cylinders all the time, how much better it's going to make that engine live and last.
That's right. Yeah. If you can control the heat in every one of the cylinders, the ring seal, the valve seal, all your gaskets, all that stuff isn't going through any kind of a added heat trauma or any kind of detonation. We look at all that stuff at the shop. And bottom line, when we roll you outside and put you back in the trailer, you're ready to go racing. And the most you have to take the hood off for is to wash the car. I mean, because we've done all the hard work for you. And if you follow our recipe on the density altitude, the thing will sit out there and run every night.
I'll promise you it's worth your time and effort to load your car up and go see Willie. It's been well worth our time each time we went up there and saw Willie. And, of course, after the fact, Willie, you're there for us and help us anytime we got questions or whatever. And that's customer service to me that's second to none. Can't ask me any better. Every time we need each other, it's we're a phone call away from each other.
Yep, and you brought up a while ago about the twin blade carburetor. We've got involved with that. Mike Laws was the original inventor of the twin blade carburetor. We adapted our Super Bowl and our equalizer section to this thing, made it one of the greatest things that we've ever been around. And what it does is you're truly over-carbureting the engine, and we do that for a reason. We do that so the racer can now move his foot more inside the cockpit than he ever could. And that way he can feel the traction line. It's not a deal where the motor has sags in it or any kind of stumbles in it. It's a deal where you can now control all of the wheel speed with your foot. You can make it more drivable that way when the track transitions and you don't have all the mechanical bite no more. But on the other positive side is once you open the throttle up 100%, these things run usually about 20 to 30 more horsepower and torque over a conventional 4-barrel that's out on the market. So now your slick track carburetor is your qualifying carburetor, and this thing just offers so much drivability. And then by the time we do all the equalizer system to where we can balance the engine, that you had a real nice system.
Well, I guess I'm going to share one number with them on this late model. Is when we started, we knew what, we got the motor from Jack, what his dyno had said it would be. We improved that thing, which bolted the carburetor, and Willy tuned it another 35 horsepower. That's huge to me what that will do from that part. So I'm just telling you, it's worth your time and effort to go see Willy. And the other thing, Willy, I love about it, when we sit down with you in the dyno room, you share all the information with us. You're not hiding anything from us, and I love that part about it. It's no smoke and mirrors, as I call it, right?
Yeah, we're pretty transparent. There is no man behind the curtain. Yeah, no. A lot of times we make wrong choices, and when we do, everybody sees it. And there's that dyno doesn't
lie.
It doesn't know me from any favors at all. And so, whenever we make a bad choice, it tells me we got to go in here and correct it. But we also see all of our gains, and everybody else sees exactly what we're doing. And very transparent. So, and we walk them through every one so everybody understands what we're trying to achieve, why we're moving fuel, pulling fuel out of this cylinder and putting it in that one. You can steer fuel to any cylinder you want in this thing.
Yeah, it's amazing when I watch you do that and knowing how to do that. I mean, it would take me forever, of course, knowing what to do there. But you can, like I said, it took about 3 or 4 pulls on each car, and you had each one of those 2 from the modified to the late model dialed in. And like I said, I'm excited to get this motor back to Jack. I can't wait to tear it apart so we can see what kind of wears in it and what it looks like and stuff too. So that'll be another true testimonial for your products and what you do, Willy.
Yes. Wife and I, we go on the road and go to different engine shops and sit down with them and train them up on how they can do all this equalizer tuning, and it just makes their product better. And and because that's the end result. I mean, yeah, everybody wants to have all these motors sitting there to rebuild all the time, but if we can keep them running longer, the racers will stay in the sport longer. And the cost of these motors have accelerated to a point to where hardly anybody can afford to go racing.
You're exactly right on that. The cost from years ago to now, but again, the quality of products we got too is so much better too.
Oh,
from that
yeah,
part.
yes.
It's just unbelievable that with the oils and everything else too, with the fuels and everything, to make these motors run so much more power and everything else too. So, anyway, what else, Willy? Anything else you got to add? Anything I forgot to ask you or anything? Or
no. This is the first year at the PRI show. It's kind of an odd deal for me. First time in 36 years that we're not exhibiting. Wife and I chose to not exhibit. Give us a chance to walk around, do things like this here, and see what's all going on at the show. And honestly, we've enjoyed the heck out of this deal.
That's fantastic. So anyway, you want to keep yourself safe. Get a hold of Willy for the. What's the name of it? Have you named it yet?
Not really. It's a fuel cell plate, a vented plate, and it's really have like a fancy name to really attach to it.
Okay, we get one. I get you. Or if you want to make sure your car is running at the peak level like it needs to and keep the peak performance, I'm promising you it's worth your trip to drive to his shop, get on the dyno, and let them guys go to work on that thing and tune it up and make it happen. So, Willy, thanks for spending some time with me, and thanks for trying to keep us safe, and thanks for keeping us the most horsepower we can have in these engines. And again, everybody, thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you very soon.
All right, thank you.